All right, today we're jumping into a really fascinating and I mean truly radical text from back in 2014. It's this declaration of complete and total detachment from the world, and it kicks off with a line so jarring it just makes you stop and pay attention.
Just imagine writing that, not as some cry of defeat, but as a genuine statement of freedom. This is the end result of a long journey, a philosophy that was basically forged in the ashes of a failed utopian dream.
So yeah, that's the big question, right? How does a person get to this point? To understand this profound indifference, we've actually got to go back to the beginning, to a time when the author cared, maybe more than anyone else, about the fate of the entire world.
So before this vow of detachment, there was this all-consuming mission. A group, which the text calls Chanyuan Kao, they spent years of their lives on this unbelievably ambitious project for all of humanity.
I mean, just look at this list. The sheer scale of what they were trying to do it's just staggering. This was not some small time project. They were aiming to solve everything, to create a blueprint for a perfect society where everyone could live happily, freely, a world people have been dreaming about for centuries, and they poured everything they had into it.
And then it all fell apart. All those years of work, all that incredible effort, just came to nothing. Their creation, this path they'd built to a perfect world, was ultimately rejected and destroyed.
Now this right here is the crucial part, how they processed this failure. From their point of view, it wasn't a flaw in their plan. No, it was a conscious choice that humanity itself made, a rejection of the very paradise they were being offered. And that, well, that changes everything.
So, this rejection by humanity, in a strange way, it becomes a kind of liberation. It lets the author declare that their mission is complete, that their obligation to the world is finally fulfilled.
And this shows you the complete 180 they did. They went from this collective goal, building a world for other people, to a purely individual one. Their new path is to become immortals, but not in the way you might think. The term they use is xiao yao, which really means to be free, untroubled, just kind of wandering at ease, totally beyond all the world's problems.
With this statement, they basically draw a final line in the sand. They're saying, look, we gave it our all. We tried to help. And humanity said, no thanks. So our debt is paid. Our job is done. And now they're free to walk their own path.
And this is where the philosophy takes its most radical, most intense turn. Because what does it really mean to be free from the world? For the author, it means taking a complete and total vow of indifference to, well, pretty much everything that defines the human experience.
It starts with the big stuff, the huge crises of our time. Natural disasters, wars, famine, you name it. The response isn't empathy or a call to action. It's a cold, hard, nothing to do with me. And it just keeps going. This detachment extends to the very things that drive human society, right? The endless struggles for power, wealth, status, the conflicts between different groups, all of it is just brushed aside with a simple, I am not interested. It's a conscious decision to unplug from the drama of civilization. And then it gets deeply personal. We're talking slander, persecution, even the threat of being thrown in prison or killed. And the response is just a shrug. It does not matter. I mean, wow, that's a level of detachment that's almost impossible for most of us to even wrap our heads around. So if you reject everything, global crises, social conflict, even personal attacks, what is left? Right? What does this new state of being actually look like? First off, let's be super clear about this key term, immortal, or Xian. It's not talking about some supernatural being floating on a cloud. It's describing a state of mind, a way of living that has gone beyond the ordinary worries and desires that trap most people. And here are the basic operating principles for that mindset. You can see how all of them just flow naturally from that vow of indifference. Don't argue because you aren't invested in winning. Don't hold love or hate because both are really powerful attachments. Don't have desires because wanting things is what causes suffering in the first place. It's a complete and total release.
And this quote just captures the very essence of it all. It is about radical presence, living completely in the now, without a single thought about tomorrow or even the next minute. If death comes, it comes. There's no fear because there's no attachment to life itself.
So after this radical rejection of their old life and this embrace of a totally new philosophy, what's next? Well, the text doesn't conclude with an ending, it concludes with a beginning. See,
This isn't a philosophy of hopelessness or just giving up. It's presented more like a graduation. The first part of their journey, trying to save the world, that's over. Now they're free to start part 2, the journey of the self-liberated immortal.
And that leaves us with this final, massive question. In a world that is so full of problems that really do need our attention and our action, is this level of detachment some higher form of wisdom, a way to find peace in all the chaos? Or is it just the ultimate abdication of our shared human responsibility? It's something to think about.